Welcome to this news flash from September 2015. The Antarctic Treaty was signed in Washington on December 1, 1959 by the 12 countries whose scientists had been active in and around Antarctica during the International Geophysical Year (IGY) of 1957-58. It entered into force in 1961 and has since been acceded to by many other nations. The total number of parties to the treaty is now 52. Some important provisions of the treaty. Antarctica shall be used for peaceful purposes only. Freedom of scientific investigation in Antarctica and cooperation toward that end shall continue. Scientific observations and results from Antarctica shall be exchanged and made freely available. Among the signatories of the treaty were 7 countries: Argentina, Australia, Chile, France, New Zealand, Norway and the United Kingdom, with territorial claims, sometimes overlapping. Other countries do not recognize any claims. The US and Russia maintain a basis of claim. All positions are explicitly protected in Article 4, which preserves the status quo. No acts or activities taking place while the present treaty is in force shall constitute a basis for asserting, supporting or denying a claim to territorial sovereignty in Antarctica or create any rights of sovereignty in Antarctica. No new claim, or enlargement of an existing claim to territorial sovereignty in Antarctica shall be asserted while the present treaty is in force. To promote the objectives and ensure the observance of the provisions of the treaty, all areas of Antarctica, including all stations, installations and equipment within those areas shall be open at all times to inspection. Peaceful use and inspections. The Antarctic Treaty provides that Antarctica shall be used for peaceful purposes only. Art. I. To this end it prohibits any measures of a military nature but does not prevent the use of military personnel or equipment for scientific research or for any other peaceful purpose. Article 4 of the treaty deals with the issue of territorial claims. It safeguards the different positions of states. Nothing contained in the present treaty shall be interpreted as a renunciation by any contracting party of previously asserted rights of or claims to territorial sovereignty in Antarctica. b. A renunciation or diminution by any contracting party of any basis of claim to territorial sovereignty in Antarctica which it may have, whether as a result of its activities or those of its nationals in Antarctica, or otherwise. c. Prejudicing the position of any contracting party as regards its recognition or non-recognition of any other state's right of or claim or basis of claim to territorial sovereignty in Antarctica. The same article goes on to preserve the status quo by providing that no acts or activities taking place while the present treaty is in force shall constitute a basis for asserting, supporting or denying a claim to territorial sovereignty in Antarctica or create any rights of sovereignty in Antarctica. No new claim or enlargement of an existing claim to territorial sovereignty in Antarctica shall be asserted while the present treaty is in force. The question of sovereignty over Antarctica was set aside to provide a pragmatic solution that has kept Antarctica a region of peaceful cooperation for half a century. Inspections. To promote the objectives of the treaty and to ensure that the provisions of the Antarctic Treaty are observed, parties are obliged to inform each other of their activities in Antarctica. See under Information Exchange and facilitate inspections by other parties of their facilities. Both matters are dealt with in Article 7. Which provides that each consultative party shall have the right to designate observers to carry out inspections under the treaty. The observers, whose names are communicated to the other consultative parties, shall have complete freedom of access at any time to any or all areas of Antarctica. This includes stations, installations and equipment within those areas, and all ships and aircraft at points of discharging or embarking cargoes or personnel in Antarctica. Nowadays inspections include many aspects of environmental protection as well as operational and disarmament matters. The ATCM has adopted sets of non-mandatory inspection checklists concerning different types of facilities and protected areas to assist inspection activity. In recent years, most inspections have been cooperative undertakings carried out by several countries. Science and operations. The conclusion of the Antarctic Treaty in December 1959 followed the success of the International Geophysical Year (IGY) 1957-58. Ever since, scientific research has been the main activity on the Antarctic continent, and both the Antarctic Treaty and the Environmental Protocol emphasize the importance of science and scientific cooperation in the Antarctic Treaty system. Article 2 of the treaty provides that freedom of scientific investigation in Antarctica and cooperation toward that end shall continue. According to Article 3, scientific observations and results from Antarctica shall be exchanged and made freely available. Aside from the original signatories, participation in the decision-making under the treaty is limited to those countries which demonstrate their interest in Antarctica by conducting substantial scientific research activity there. Article 9(2). The Environmental Protocol, in Article 2, designates Antarctica as a natural reserve, devoted to peace and science. Antarctic science has led to such breakthroughs as the discovery of the ozone hole in 1985, and the recovery of data on the climate of the past hundreds of thousands of years. The ATCM, with the expert advice of the Scientific Committee on Antarctic Research (SCARN), the Council of Managers of National Antarctic Programs (COMNAP), has adopted many measures on scientific cooperation and operational matters such as telecommunications, meteorology, transportation and other subjects of importance to the Antarctic research programs. Environmental protection. Protection of the Antarctic environment has been a central theme in the cooperation among Antarctic Treaty parties. In 1964, the ATCM adopted agreed measures for the conservation of Antarctic fauna and flora. These measures laid the basis for a regulatory system of general rules and specific regulations that provided extra protection in specially protected areas. Subsequently, the ATCM adopted a number of measures on various issues to widen, complement and strengthen the protection of the Antarctic environment. A new stage was reached with the adoption of the Protocol on Environmental Protection to the Antarctic Treaty in Madrid in 1991. Through the Environment Protocol, the contracting parties commit themselves to the comprehensive protection of the Antarctic environment and dependent and associated ecosystems and designate Antarctica as a natural reserve, devoted to peace and science. The protocol prohibits all activities relating to Antarctic mineral resources, except for scientific research. Thanks for watching this news flash. Subscribe and like if you want more.